I assert my will when I step on the floor. It's all about just trying to make the right plays, the right passes, the right reads as the point guard on the team, and do the things defensively too to help our team win.
Broussard, is LeBron still the best player in the NBA now that he's shifted to point guard?
Well, who's in the discussion? It's really down to LeBron and Giannis.
Yep.
I would throw Kawhi in there if he played, every night, essentially. Anthony Davis is not in it because with Anthony Davis, if he's on my team, I still need another guy to handle the ball and get it to Anthony Davis. Whereas Giannis can bring the ball up the court and play point guard, essentially. Yep. LeBron obviously can do it. Kawhi. So that's the difference between an AD and these guys. And then James Harden, defensively, he just doesn't get it done. And I just think he needs to change his style up a little bit to win at a higher level. So you're talking about LeBron and Giannis for the best player in the world title. Kawhi can get in there in the playoffs. Like, if he dominates the playoffs like he did last year and they win it, then he's in the discussion. But for now, with him sitting out every fourth game, no. Now, LeBron and Giannis, I give LeBron the edge. I didn't think I'd say it. I thought his days of being the best player in the world were over. But I give him a slight edge over Giannis, and here's why. Because I think Giannis, we'll see this year, but he's got maybe too much respect for LeBron. Like, when they played last year, it was only one game. And Milwaukee won, but LeBron had 31 and 10 boards, 7 assists. I'm sorry, 10 assists, 7 rebounds. Giannis had 16 points, 15 rebounds, but only 16 points, and only took like 14 shots. It was his lowest scoring game of the entire second half of the season. And when I watched it, I saw a guy that almost was deferring to somebody he'd looked up to. Now, maybe it's just in my mind, but that's what I saw, deferring to a guy he'd looked up to maybe most of his life. So I think LeBron still has that edge. And if you look at the playoffs last year, we've never seen LeBron, since that Dallas series, really struggle in the playoffs. Giannis only averaged 22 points a game against Toronto in that conference final, and Kawhi outplayed him and took him out of his game. Giannis shot like 44%, which is unheard of for him.
Yep.
So with those blemishes on his record, I've got to give the edge to LeBron right now.
So you're 100% correct that it's a two-person race. And I know there are some folks that think some of the Kawhi Leonard shade that they think comes from me is because he threatens LeBron. Kawhi Leonard does not. There's one person in the league right now that threatens LeBron's place atop the mountain. It's Giannis. And Giannis one of my 5 favorite players ever, and my 2nd favorite player in the league right now. And if you would have sat right here and made the argument, Giannis is the best player in basketball, I would have disagreed. But it's a strong argument because what Giannis does on both ends of the court, his team has the same record. He doesn't have an Anthony Davis alongside of him. He has a good coach. He has a good supporting cast, but it's not like Hall of Fame coach, Hall of Famers all around him. So I understand the argument for Giannis. The reason I think it still goes to LeBron is not just the playoff part, which is a part of it, which is right now Giannis he has to prove to you that he has learned from that failure in those final 4 games against Toronto, where you wall off the rim, say, find another way to beat me, which is what Toronto did.
And he's added the 3 a little bit, but still.
And I think he will prove that. I think Milwaukee's going to coast to the NBA Finals. I think we are on a collision course between these two guys where they will get to play it out. But the strongest argument LeBron has is not even a statistical one. It is be honest with yourself right now. If you had a great team, awesome players around, and you could add any one player in basketball to it, who would you add? It's LeBron.
If I already had a great team?
You already had a great team, and you can add any one player in basketball, you would add LeBron.
I'm not sure. Not that LeBron wouldn't be the best option individually, but I might add a Kevin Durant.
Okay,
I know Kevin Durant
he has a blown Achilles, so it doesn't.
Okay, I might add a Kawhi. Because I think they fit in. If I had LeBron, all of a sudden it becomes based around LeBron.
Okay, well, but between LeBron and Giannis,
hold on.
If you have a terrible team and you can add any one player in basketball, it's LeBron. If you need a guy who is going to be able to play 37+ minutes a night, 80 games, and you can add any player in basketball, Giannis and LeBron are the answer. If you say we're already in the playoffs, and we're going to have to go through 4 rounds of wars, you can add any player in basketball. The answer is LeBron. He's the answer to all the questions. If we need a small ball 5 to try to match a team that's just going to go pace and space, LeBron might be your first choice. If you need a point guard for a new team that's going to play 2 centers, we just found out LeBron is your first choice. And by the way, he's the greatest forward to ever play. So the answer to all these questions for the last 14 years, last year notwithstanding, has been LeBron. It is somewhat remarkable it still is that. And I think Giannis is going to be the answer for the next decade. I think Giannis and Luka are going to battle this thing out. And the only reason Luka wasn't included for you is I would assume he hasn't done it long enough and doesn't do it enough on the defensive end. Never seen Luka in a playoff war, because his numbers this year are off the charts, right? Like that's,
I think, look, I've fought against it. But I think at 20 years old, you know, the question has been, is he the best 20-year-old we've ever seen? I go with Magic Johnson because of what he did in the finals that year, rookie year. But I think you have to put Luka over LeBron as a 20-year-old.
As a 20-year-old?
Just because of the way he's leading Dallas in a tough Western Conference to what, the 4th seed right now?
Right now they're the 3rd seed actually. So and
the numbers obviously are a little better.
A debate for another day. But the one other thing for the Lakers, the only player on that team other than LeBron that has a track record of winning is Danny Green. The only
Rondo.
You know what? You're absolutely right. Rondo, you're correct. I was thinking of the starting lineup. But you're correct. Avery Bradley had some winning. Dwight Howard had winning early in his career, but not late. Anthony Davis doesn't. Kuzma obviously doesn't. And by the way, Frank Vogel doesn't have a great track record of winning. He had the couple years in Indiana.
But he's a good coach. Yeah, he's a good coach. Very good coach.
LeBron has been on and off the court the driving force on that team for the best team in the NBA.
I think you fudged it a little because there were a lot of players with some winning backgrounds on that team.
How about
but he is the engine. I'll give you that. For the whole franchise.
Nobody on that team other than LeBron and Danny Green have a recent history of winning. That's true. Look it up.
Yeah, recent.
Yeah, last 5 years.
They got a history, though.
Keep an eye on it.
Don't take the White Orlando years.
Coming up, how worried should the Ravens be about Lamar's quad? That's ahead on First Things First.
Giannis coming.
You like that Baines went up?
Yeah, of course. But I don't like that he got beat to the rim. Come on, Aaron Baines. Give him some room.
Hottest ticket in the NBA last night was north of the border. Kawhi Leonard making his long-awaited return to Toronto as a Clipper. And the Toronto faithful couldn't have been nicer. A standing ovation, MVP chants during the pregame ring ceremony. Kawhi finished with 23 points, 5 boards, and 6 assists in the Clippers' win. 112-92 was your final. Broussard, does Kawhi deserve MVP consideration despite all this load management that we keep talking about?
Absolutely not. Kawhi has willingly taken himself out of the top-tier regular season awards. And now he's showing you it's all about the playoffs. I'm about rings. I don't think he cares if he's in the MVP race. Now, he's clearly one of the best players in the league, but should he be in it? No. Part of the job description, Nick, is being there. That's part of it.
I would say a major part of it.
Because you're obviously most valuable player. How much value do you have for your team? You're missing games. You're hurting your team. Now, they're 4-3 without him. You said it. I know you're going to say it again. They're going to have a tougher first-round matchup because Kawhi is missing games.
Of course.
So you can't be in the MVP conversation. Now, he's one of the best players in the world. I think he should be in the discussion for best player in the world when he plays. But when you willingly sit out, no, I can't. There's no way you'll be the MVP. You won't be first-team All-NBA, even though you may deserve that as well. You'll probably be second team, but he's giving all of this up. And on top of that, Nick, his numbers aren't what they usually are.
Yeah, I mean, when you say he should be in the discussion for best player in the world, outside of the final 3 weeks of last season, he's never been in that discussion, and right now should not be.
I think he should. Well, I don't put him in there because of the missed games and the low management, but
let's just
it's not just numbers. When the eye test.
The eye test, he's great. The eye test to me is not that you don't watch him and get the same feeling of when you watch LeBron or Giannis or even this year Luka. Like not to me. And so but you're obviously right on the MVP stuff. Like, just to answer the question, there's been one modern era MVP